I'm Russell Alexander. Today I'd like to talk about supporting Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers. I'm committed to promoting diversity within the legal profession and advocating for increased representation of Indigenous and racialized lawyers. Our current system is not serving our diverse communities. It's an imperative that we take these steps to address this issue. This includes reevaluating our hiring practices to ensure that they're fair and equitable, and supporting retention programs that promote diversity and inclusivity. As a bencher, I will work with the LSO and my colleagues to create more opportunities and promote inclusiveness in the legal profession. This is not only in the public interest, but it's also the right thing to do. Ways to promote diversity. The Law Society of Ontario and the Ontario government can improve and promote diversity, equity, and inclusion for Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers by taking the following steps. Providing cultural competency training. The LSO and the Ontario government can provide cultural competency training for lawyers and other legal professionals to help them understand and respond to the needs of Indigenous, Black, and racialized clients and lawyers. This can include training on cultural, historical, and systemic barriers that these clients and lawyers face and how to provide culturally sensitive representation. Encouraging diverse representation. The LSO and the Ontario government can encourage the participation of Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers in the legal profession by promoting their inclusion and advancement. This can include outreach efforts, mentorship programs, and other initiatives that help these lawyers gain experience and recognition in the legal field. Providing financial support. The Ontario government can provide financial support to Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers to help them establish and maintain their practices. This can include grants, tax credits, and other financial initiatives. Addressing systemic barriers. The LSO and the Ontario government can work to address systemic barriers that prevent Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers from entering and advancing in the legal profession. This can include reviewing and reforming existing laws, policies, and regulations that create barriers for these lawyers, and working with other organizations to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in the legal field. Collaborating with community organizations. The LSO and the Ontario government can collaborate with community organizations that serve Indigenous, Black, and racialized communities and lawyers to help promote diversity and equity and inclusion in the legal field. This can include working with organizations that provide legal services, support and advocacy, and other forms of assistance to these communities. By taking these steps together, the LSO and the Ontario government can help improve diversity, equity, and inclusion in the legal profession and ensure that Indigenous, Black, and racialized lawyers are better represented and supported in our community. I'm Russell Alexander. I'm running for bencher election in 2023, and I'm asking for your vote. We can all just look in the mirror and take the first step at our own firms and our own hiring practices. I know when I interview law students and articling students, at least 95 or 90% of our applicants are racialized lawyers. This does not represent a fair and equitable cross-section of our legal profession. And I think as individual lawyers, we can do more, but if I'm elected as bencher, I'm going to ensure that the Law Society and the Ontario government does a lot more on this very important issue. I hope I can count on your support. Thank you for watching the video today.